Hey, Erica here. Welcome back to Black Girls Build 2, and today is part 2 of our laundry room remodel. So today I'm going to be focusing on building a wall cabinet for storage and as well as a floating shelf. So stay tuned to see how it goes. Alright, so when I went and got the plywood cut for the floor cabinet that I showed you guys in the last video, I had some extra plywood left over from that sheet that I had them cut into 12-inch sheets for the wall cabinet. So I actually have enough to make the entire wall cabinet. So what I'm going to do is build a 60-inch long wall cabinet, and because it's that long, I'm going to put a middle divider piece into it. And that way it's going to look like two cabinets, but it's going to be one big structure. And it's actually pretty inexpensive, so I'll show you how that goes. Building another face frame so that our doors will have something to attach to, and then I'm also going to cut 2 shelves so that we can have extra storage, get a back put on, and then attaching doors and painting. So sounds like a lot. It is a lot, but it's coming along. So we got our face frame put on, we got the 1/4 inch plywood put on the back, and it pretty much looks like a wall cabinet. Our next steps are going to be to order some shaker doors because I am not going to try to make those. I'm not that skilled yet. Once we get the doors in, I'm going to get it primed and painted, and it's starting to look good. I think we got a good cabinet for the laundry room. To the wall, and I've marked the space for them. So the next thing is I'm going to take a scrap piece of wood and I'm going to use my nail gun to put it on the wall and make sure it's level. That is going to act as our ledger board to hold some of the weight of the cabinet as we try to get it drilled into the wall. build a floating shelf. So there are multiple ways that you can build a floating shelf. So I'm going to show you the way that I know. And what I'm going to be using is a 2x2. I'm also using a 1/2 inch sheet of plywood. So this is actually birch plywood, and I got it in a 2 foot by 4 foot sheet and had them cut it in half for me. So this is actually going to give me the perfect dimensions for the space that we have. And I'm also going to be using this 1x3, which is a 1x3 of poplar. So I'm going to show you how we'll put all that together to make a floating shelf. Okay, first step is we need to find out where the studs are in the wall. I kind of have an idea because when I took the wire rack out, all of this was in drywall. So it's very important that we're going to put that 2x2 directly into the stud. That way it will hold the weight of our shelf. So next thing is I'm going to take my drill and some wood screws and connect our pieces of 2x2 directly to this, and it's going to make what you normally see if you bought a floating shelf where there's the wire bars that hang out. So that's what we're trying to create with the wood. Okay, so we have the brace up there, and I'll be honest, this was not an easy process by myself. I think it does take 2 people to make this a little bit smoother. And I didn't have like a lot of studs to work with. I had 2 really good ones, and so I did do two of the wood screws into those 2 studs, and I think it feels pretty sturdy. So I'm gonna work on getting the pieces lined up for the 1/2 inch sheet of plywood and make sure everything still is level. Alright, so I dry fitted everything, and what I'm going to do now is use some wood glue and my brad nailer to connect the plywood to this. So we're going to do 1 sheet on the top and 1 sheet on the bottom. Last step is to take this 1x3 poplar, and we're just going to put that on the front. So I'm going to do the same thing with wood glue and my nail gun, and that will be the last step. Alright, so I'm using the same gel stain that I ended up using on the butcher block on the lower cabinet, and I'm using a stain pad to apply it. So it's almost empty, so taking it out and just rubbing it on there, and I think 1 coat is actually going to give me the consistency that I'm looking for. I'm being careful not to hit the wall because I did not tape, so I will probably end up taping this off and getting the wall close to the wall. Alright, so we have entered the finish line for this laundry room. So I have painted the walls. It's not a drastic change, but I painted them white just to make the space feel a little bigger. And now I'm getting ready to add our backsplash. So I'll be honest, this is my first time using this, and you probably have heard of it. It's called Muscle Bound, and it's an adhesive towel, double-sided sticky tape. So I'm a little nervous to try it, but I've heard really good things. The thing that attracted me to this is because it says no mortar and no mess and no waiting to grout. So when I did my subway tile in the kitchen, using mortar is very messy, and you have a very quick time frame for where you have to apply the towel. So with this, I get to take my time, and if I don't finish today, I can always come back to it. So this is going to be put on the wall first. I'm going to be doing a basic subway towel. So I have this Jeffrey Court towel. It kind of has a marble print on it. And so I'm just going to start toweling, and we're going to see if this Muscle Bound actually is as good as they say it is. And there you have it. This is the completed laundry room. So if you've been following from part 1, then you saw where we built the lower cabinet, got this butcher box stained and added, and now in this video we've done the upper cabinets. I've actually built shaker doors, so you can go watch that video on how I did that, as well as floating shelves and towel work. So if you have any questions, please leave those in the comments. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and if you're not already, make sure to follow me on my social channels on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, be strong, be courageous, and go out and build some.